Hello everybody! So I'm here today after a long absence, sorry, to give you a review of Wild by Cheryl Strayed. If you haven't heard about this book already, it's about Cheryl Strayed's trip through the Pacific Crest Trail, which is all along the Pacific coast, so the mountain ranges. She does describe the trail itself, but she also describes flashbacks of things that motivated her to go on to the trip and things that she was thinking about and had to work through, and part of the reason that she continues on it even whenever it's clear that she's really unprepared. Seriously, if you want a book about hiking that's going to tell you all the things you shouldn't do, you should pick up this book. I haven't even really gone on long hikes, and I can tell you most of this stuff, don't do it. Real bad. And although the character is very relatable because she really screws up, and she has to do things like actually save money to go on the trip, which nobody ever talks about in a memoir, she is still more than a bit of a wild card. Which makes the title fit, but I don't think that's why she wanted the title there. I don't think that's what she meant with it. She's a little wild, and not just because she has a bit of an interesting past that leads to her motivation to going on the trip, but because she in general decides to go on this kind of on a whim, and she saves up for it and she researches, but she doesn't research very thoroughly, and she buys pretty much all the wrong equipment, and she doesn't test her pack, and she doesn't like go on day hikes with her pack to figure out how that's going to work. And there are so many things that she could have done to have made her life easier on this trip. But there's also so many things that she could have done and many decisions she could have made to have made her life easier in general. And the sense you're supposed to get in the ending is that if she hadn't made all these decisions, then she wouldn't be the person that she is. And in that sense, this is a pretty fulfilling memoir. I will say that the ending for me, not so great. You do not get the kind of resolution that you're expecting since she's been leading up to it the entire book. You don't get that kind of completion. But it's not a terrible ending. I mean, this is not like an Eat, Pray, Love situation. And it does fit the kind of realistic attitude she's taking towards being on the trail and being very frank about the mistakes that she's made and the really unsafe decisions she makes while on the trail as well. If you're interested in hiking, I would pick up this book and kind of learn a lot of things not to do, but also kind of learn more about the hiking culture in general, which is actually explored really well in this, so I think that's also very good. And in general, I would recommend this book. I don't know that I would recommend that you have to read this book right now. I don't feel that strongly about it, but it is a pretty good memoir to start off with if you haven't read a memoir before. I do also recommend reading the book and not seeing the movie. I did see the movie after I'd read the book. I waited a couple of weeks after I read the book to watch the movie in the hopes that I would be able to separate that a little bit, and I actually found the movie really confusing. And I had read the book, so I knew all the information, but the setup was really confusing and very jolting between the flashbacks and the actual trail itself. And it wasn't explained very well, the flashbacks, so then you have to kind of try to figure out what's going on, and yeah, just, it was not necessarily handled very well. Reese Witherspoon did a good job, but the movie itself, not so good. But the book does a pretty solid job of exploring the main character, and really, I mean, I would suggest you read this book if only because Cheryl Strayed has unapologetically dug into herself and examined all of the bad decisions she's made and come out on the other side saying, like, I cannot explain these away. I'm not going to blame anybody else. I chose these. They were not always the right decisions, but without them I couldn't be who I am now, and I couldn't have what I have now, and I have to accept that that's the road that I had to take. Basically, I would give it like 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's not bad, does a pretty good job, but I've read other memoirs that seem more compelling to me. I also want to say before I leave that the reason I've been so busy is because I'm on staff at GeekyCon, which you guys know, and that means I'm going to be there this week. I'll actually be hosting the What Are You Reading meetup on Thursday. I think it's at noon. I'll put the schedule in the description so that you can check that out for yourself, and if you're coming, please come say hi to me because I would love to talk about books with you, and I'm going to be busy pretty much the rest of the conference, so that might be one of the only chances you get. Come say hi. So let me know what you're reading in the comments below, and I will see you guys hopefully next week.